is my 25 luxury wish list. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Celesta. We talk about all things luxury shopping and handbags. If you love those things, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification. I do post videos every week. Okay, so I know this is a little bit late, a little bit long overdue, but we have our 2025 luxury wish list. I cannot wait to share. I'm very like type A. I'm very like list oriented person. So I feel like this is really helpful for me to keep track of like everything that I want this year or that I think I want this year. And then I'm able to prioritize like what I want to spend my money on, what I don't want to spend my money on. Obviously, we can't spend it on everything, right? So, especially not in this economy. So, I love being able to keep track of my purchases. And then I also react to this list at the end of the year. So, I just posted last week a reaction to my 2024 wish list, what I ended up getting instead. Obviously, there are a little bit more purchases than what's originally on the wish list, and things are different than what's originally on the wish list. So, I love doing that at the end of the year. So, stay tuned for that. I'll also be doing a video on my no buy list as well. But without further ado, let's get into it. So when I was putting this list together, I was like, maybe I should put this in chronological order or like higher priority, you know, whatever. I kind of gave up with that. So I feel like there's a lot of different things that I want, but I'm not sure kind of where it sits on the priority. So we're putting it all out there. So starting with the Demelier Midi New York, I was kind of on the fence about this because I already have the Pelen seam. However, I really want a camel light brown color mini tote that has the contrast stitching. I think the contrast stitching is really what sold me on this. I like that the midi is actually a really good size, and I think my laptop would still fit in the midi, even though the laptop doesn't really fit in the seam mini, if that makes sense. I did try on the style in London, and I really liked the midi size over the regular size or the full size one. And I think it's still good enough that I can use it for work or just like travel, day trips, you know, that kind of vibe. I think this is really cute, and it's around like $500-600. What I do appreciate about Demelier is that they've kind of always stayed around this price point. They haven't really done price increases in the last couple years that I've been following this brand. Compared to Pelen kind of started out on the lower end, and then they've been doing price increases, but they're both made in the same region in Spain. So it makes sense that the pricing for both brands are pretty similar in pricing. So both the seam and the New York are pretty similar in pricing now, and I would love to get the midi size. I think that is the perfect size on me, and hopefully if I do get it, I'll give you guys a comparison. The next item is some kind of vanity clutch bag. So I did have the Bottega Veneta Bang Bang Vanity case, which originally was just like the vanity case pouch or something like that. Renamed it to the Bang Bang whatever. So I really like this one. I like that the colors that it comes in, and I like that you can wear it as a top handle. You can obviously wear it as a crossbody, but I've kind of still been on the fence about the Loro Piana one. And maybe part of it is like waiting to see if I still like the bag, even with the trend like dying down. And obviously the Loro Piana one was really popular, I think summer of 2023. So really trying to see like if I like it because of social media and the trend and whatever, or if I actually see a need for it in my collection. Very similarly to that, and I think if I were to get this style, I probably wouldn't get the Loro Piana, which is the Civet Symmetry Pouch Pochette. I think that's what it's called. I love this style. The only thing obviously is it doesn't come with a crossbody strap like the Bottega or Loro Piana. You're really only wearing it as a top handle clutch. I think this would be really good for like special events that we have coming up this year. We have weddings, you know, everything like that. Obviously the downside being you can only wear it as a top handle. However, this bag is still half the price of the Bottega and the Loro Piana, so it might like make sense getting it even though it's less functional. I am trying to decide like what color I want to get. I've been stalking like my Teresa, Saks, or Neiman's, I forgot which one has, Farfetch has it, and I'm trying to decide what color I want because I do have a lot of black evening bags. Do I want to go with black, and that's a classic, or do I want to get a different color? But if it is a different color, I haven't found the right hardware that matches. I saw a white one, but it had silver hardware. I would love a white one with gold hardware, you know? So like trying to figure out exactly the right combination before I pull the trigger. However, However, I feel like I should probably pull the trigger sooner rather than later because this bag has been going up in prices like crazy. I remember first noticing this bag when it was just under $1,000 and now it's like $1,390. So in like a year too. So I definitely need to keep my eyes peeled for the right color, for the right hardware combination, and really decide if that's the one that I want or if I want to go for Bottega or Loro Piana. If you guys have like opinions too, please let me know. Do you guys prefer the Bottega? Do you prefer the Loro Piana? Or do you prefer the Civet clutch? They're all too similar. We can't have them all. Okay, the next item we have, this should be no surprise to you. I don't know that I would necessarily pull the trigger on this year per se, but this has to stay on the wish list. This is the Louis Vuitton Nano Capucine. I have figured out that I like the Nano Capucine size the most. Originally, I was like, I like the mini size when the mini size was the smallest size. And then this past year, they released the nano size. And I was like, this is freaking adorable. However, again, very similar to Civet and other things, they have the size that I like, but they don't necessarily have the color and the leather combination that I like. A lot of the nano size is coming out in exotics or even like ostrich, and I personally just like don't like ostrich. I think I would prefer calfskin, just a little bit more carefree, just a little bit more like me, you know? But I'm waiting kind of for the right color because again, I could get the black, but if I were to get a Birkin 25 in black, which has been like my holy grail like color combo, then what do I do with the Nano Capucine, you know? So we kind of need to plan ahead, and like this is the way that my brain works. Overthinking, like obviously. So I am kind of waiting on the fence about like which color combination I want to get. Last year I did try on like a light blue with white, which was so pretty, but I just picked up my Nano Speedy in the light blue. So again, we either need to sell some of the current bags that we have to eliminate like duplicates, or we need something that is just so fresh, so unique that I don't currently have it in my collection. The next bag I'm thinking of, I was like hesitant to put this on the wish list, but I feel like maybe I need it. I think I need, and maybe it's time to get like a dark red bag. I obviously have a lot of neutral colors. I have a lot of pinks. I have a little bit of light blue, but I have a lot of neutral color bags, and that's like my color palette. Like I'm literally wearing white right now. Like that is just my everyday, and I think I am starting to want to venture out with a pop of color. Maybe that's dark red. I probably wouldn't do like a dark green right off the bat. I think it obviously is a little bit easier to do like a color that you're not super confident in like a more affordable style as well. So Palen recently came out with, I think it's kind of like a cherry red color, absolutely stunning. Like I feel like that is a little bit easier for me to kind of ease my foot into. But if I were to be forced to buy a red bag that's luxury designer, I'd probably end up getting the Gucci Jackie in red. I think that's a stunning combination. But other than that, there's nothing really that's been like speaking to me in a color that I'm not super comfortable in, but I do feel like that's kind of what's missing in my collection. Like right now we're trying to find gaps in our collection. We have a lot, and really just figure out like what we're missing, you know? The next bag, again, I'm kind of hesitant to put this on the list, but maybe I can be convinced. I think I might want a suede bag. I feel like everyone was talking about like fall suede, obviously, you know. I personally feel like suede is a very seasonal bag. It's also a very delicate bag because you need to brush it, you can't get it wet, you know, like there's just so many things that you need to think about when you're using a suede bag. And I was recently in Hawaii and I helped my friend find her Prada Ami in suede. She was looking for this for a while and she was like, it's sold out, no one in the country has this bag. And then I happened to like walk by Prada and I was like, wait, isn't that the one you want? It's like sitting on the table, you know? And so she did end up getting that bag, but like obviously she wasn't there, so I tried it on, I FaceTimed her, everything like that. And I was like, wait, this is kind of cute. This is kind of the only material other than exotics that I don't really have in my collection, but I fear that this might be a little bit too seasonal for me. Like I'm obviously not gonna wear this spring and summer. I also don't wear very dark colors that often, so really it would only be like a fall and winter bag for me. But then if it's raining, then I can't use that bag. So I think I want it, and maybe this is another style where I find something in a more affordable brand where I don't feel guilty about spending $3,000 on a suede bag and then it ends up getting damaged or I don't use it or whatever it is. The next item / items, I'm not really sure, is something from the Louis Vuitton Murakami collection with the cherry blossoms. I know the multicolor dropped earlier this year, and I was kind of like, honestly, I don't feel a strong like gravitational towards it. I also don't wear bright colors. I don't do rainbow too often. So it makes sense that I wasn't super like gravitated towards it. I know a lot of people had like this nostalgia pull, which is why a lot of people were trying to get it. And I do know that the multicolor was kind of the biggest drop that they were doing with the Murakami collection. However, I feel like the cherry blossom is more my speed. Like the light pink on the monogram, like that is 100% my speed. I think it is so cute. I've seen kind of like leaks for what is to come, and I have my eye on a couple things. I'm hesitant to like give specifics because I don't know how difficult it is to get. I've texted a couple sales associates and I am not like getting my hopes up. I feel like with these like limited edition drops, like you never know. And I don't think I want it enough to pay like an absurd amount over retail too. So that's kind of where we're at. We're putting it on this list, but not sure. Obviously, the last bag we have to include is a Birkin 25. I'm hoping this is the year. It is 25 and I'm hoping to get my Birkin 25. Like maybe this is our year. Obviously, we want it in black/noir in gold hardware. And I don't feel like I'm asking for the world. I don't feel like I'm asking for a very specific combination. This is a pretty common combination. And I feel like for my first Hermes bag, potentially my only, I think this is the one that I want. I have been keeping an eye on resale markets, resellers, you know, everything like that. I'm not gonna play the Hermes game. I actually was in Hawaii and I was talking to the leather sales associate and I gave him my wish list. Obviously not expecting anything to come out of it because I haven't spent near one-to-one with that sales associate or at that store in general. But like we put it out there, you know, it doesn't hurt to ask. And I just don't want to play the Hermes games. I've said this for the past couple years. I tried to play the Hermes games with my Hermes Picotin. I spent over $6,000 trying to get the Picotin, buying like little tchotchkes and random stuff, and nothing really came out of it. I couldn't even get my hands on a Picotin. And so I just don't feel like playing the games. I just don't think that it's worth it. I really only want to focus on buying things that I really want to buy. And if you net out how much you would spend at the store and then buy the Birkin, a lot of times, especially here in the US, it's like a 1-to-1 ratio. So I'd be spending $11,000 to get this bag plus another $11,000 to buy the bag. So total, I'm spending close to $25,000 after tax when I could just buy a brand new Birkin in the color combination, exact color that I want, everything like that for $25,000, you know? So I just like don't know that I want to play the games. And 1-to-1 is already kind of like best scenario. I've heard people do 2-to-1, like they're spending over $20,000, still no bag offer, which is kind of crazy to me. Like if I'm just casually dropping $20,000, like I better get a freaking bag. So that's kind of where I'm at. If you have any recommendations for like reputable resellers, let me know, but that is kind of where we're at. I'm hoping 2025 is our year. The next thing we are putting on this list is the Cartier Bang Noir watch. Again, I don't know that this is this year's item, but I do really like the item, and I'm hoping maybe in the coming years I'll figure out if I really am like a watch girly. Like I want to be, and I feel like dainty watches are very popular recently. This is more like a piece of jewelry over like a timepiece, you know, and that's kind of what I want, but I don't know if I am a watch girly, and I don't want to spend $13,000 on a watch to find out that I'm not. If I were to get this watch though, I do plan on getting it in Madrid because Madrid, the Cartier store at the Four Seasons gives you the full VAT refund, not just like the 12 or 14%. So it's completely like duty free, if that makes sense. So you do end up saving quite a bit of money. That is probably the only exception I would buy this watch. But I also don't know that I have plans to go to Madrid specifically this year. The next item we have is a bed frame. We went from a queen size bed to a king size bed, I think in like 2021, like a couple months after we moved in together, because I was like, we can't do this. I need a king size bed. So I'm so glad we got a king size bed back then. And we were kind of always like, okay, like the next thing we're gonna buy is a new bed frame, because we have like a metal bed frame that holds up the bed, like the mattress is not on the ground, but our headboard is still the queen size headboard. And it's not essential, but I feel like the one room that we've kind of pushed off decorating and completing is our primary bedroom, because we really only sleep in there. Like normally I'm in this room, I'm downstairs. So we really only sleep in that room. And that room also has really high ceilings. So it's been hard to figure out like what to put on the walls, what to do with the furniture. And it's just kind of been a lower priority. So I'm hoping this year is the year that I find a bed. I need something with a taller headboard because the ceilings are so tall, but I also want something with under the bed storage. But I also want to be able to vacuum underneath the bed because it gets dirty, it gets nasty, dusty, you know, whatever. So that's kind of where we're at. I haven't found anything that close to what I'm looking for. I think the closest one that I've been able to find is one from Living Spaces, which I think is pretty close. And I think for the price that you're paying for, it's really not that bad. But that is probably the only piece of furniture that I plan on buying this year. The next item is jewelry, obviously. I feel like even though majority of this list was like designer handbags, I still feel like I'm very much in my jewelry era, but I'm at this point now where I don't know what I want. I already got my dream tennis necklace. I already have a tennis bracelet. I already have multiple rings, you know, like trying to figure out exactly what I want. I think the only thing that's really piqued my interest recently is Rowan, who did my second engagement ring, my wedding band, my tennis necklace, my like earrings, like everything. Okay, so they've done it all. And she's also a dear friend of mine. She has a beautiful ring called the Laguna Wave. And I think this is so stunning, so unique. And I'm very much like a classics person, and I don't think that this is not classic. I just tend to stick to very classic, very basic items, especially if it's going to be my first item. So I think that's why I stuck with the round engagement ring. I have an emerald solitaire, but now that we have the basics, we have the classics, you know, I want to move towards something that's a little bit more fun, something, and that's what makes jewelry so fun and exciting is like, you don't have to stick to just very simple items. I'm hoping to do something with their Laguna Wave in rose gold, which I know some people are gonna like, that's tacky, you know, whatever, with like maybe a pink sapphire, a pink diamond, like something fun, something exciting. I really like the stack that she has here. I think that is absolutely stunning. And maybe that's something that I wear on my right hand. Maybe that's something I wear on my pinky. You know, I haven't really figured that out yet. I don't think we need to go crazy with this ring, but I feel like that would be a really fun piece to add to my collection. And then the last item, we're just throwing this in there, part is manifestation. Part of it is like, we're just putting it out into the universe with very little planning that I've done so far. We want to travel more. And that's something that we've always loved to do together. And so I am really excited and hopeful. I want to be able to go to Portugal this year and south of France this year. And then I also want to go back to Japan. I feel like we didn't spend that much time in Tokyo, but like Japan, there's just so many things you can do. So I want to go back to Tokyo and then maybe go to Seoul or maybe go to Singapore, like do something kind of in that area. We haven't really done Asia too much yet. We've done a lot of Europe. And so I am excited for this year. I'm hoping we get to travel a lot. And if that means that I'm like buying one less bag so I can travel, so be it. That is my 2025 luxury wish list. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what is like your top 2, top 3 items on your 2025 wish list this year. I can't wait to hear about it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll leave another video for you guys here and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!